Today we're talking about how to start an LLC in Kentucky. My name is Eric and I'm going to walk you through 3 different ways that you can do this. One is through the state website. The second is using a free online legal tool. And the third is hiring an attorney. But for the attorney, I'm going to give you a tip on how you can get a free 15-minute consult so you're not immediately running the meter. But even more important than that is I want you to be aware of terms such as piercing the corporate veil, registered agent, and commingling funds. Now, a lot of people may not be familiar with these terms, but they're really important when it comes to your LLC, because what you'll find is there's certain ways you can set things up where you're creating a crack in your LLC, and that is not good for you or your business. So before we get to that, why don't we jump in first into the state website. Now, if you go to Google and search Kentucky LLC, the first organic listing here is the state website. I will say that even though it looks nice here, this is a tough state website for this because what you're going to want to click on is the articles of incorporation. But before we get to that, why don't I explain the difference between a domestic corporation and the foreign. Now, if you're setting up an LLC, if your business is in Kentucky, you're going to be setting up a domestic LLC. But if your original business address were, say, in Ohio, but you also do business in Kentucky, your domestic LLC would be in Ohio and your foreign LLC would be in Kentucky. So that is what the difference is between those. 99% of people you're going to be setting up with domestic. And what you do is click on Articles of Incorporation. The unfortunate part is through the state website, there's no way that you can file online and just be done with it. They make you do kind of these archaic methods of filling out a form and sending it to them. The other thing I don't like about this is they kind of gloss over a lot of details. So right here you can see it, and it said in the name and the name of the initial registered agent at that office is. And you're like, okay, what is a registered agent exactly? It doesn't really explain it. And this is really important to your business. So before I explain what a registered agent is, I want to take a moment to talk about what an LLC is and what it is not. Sometimes people think you're setting up an LLC to save on taxes. That is not the case at all. You don't set up an LLC to save on taxes. You set it up to limit your liability. If you take a look at the screen here, on the left-hand side, you have your business and your business assets. That could be your retail space, your furniture, all the different assets that you have in your business. And on the right-hand side, you have your personal assets, your personal home, personal bank accounts, personal cars. Now, what an LLC does is it draws a division between these two asset classes, and that division is known as the corporate veil. Now, if you were to be sued and you have a proper LLC, there's no cracks in your LLC, the person suing you is only going to be able to come after your business assets. But if that attorney that's suing you is able to pierce the corporate veil, which is essentially legal jargon, meaning they found a crack in your LLC, that division between those two assets disappears. The corporate veil is no longer there. They pierced it. And now they're going to be able to go after not just your business assets, but your personal assets as well. So that's why it's so important to set up a proper LLC for your business. Now, one of the things it's talking about on the screen here is the registered agent at that office. You're like, well, what is a registered agent? You're like, I don't know, like, that's my buddy. I'm going to save a few dollars. I'll put my friend down the street in here and he's going to be my registered agent. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you know what a registered agent is and what they're going to be doing for your business. This is a nice article on InkFile. It's a free online legal tool to set up an LLC, but they explain it pretty well here in these 5 bullet points. The registered agent is like a third party that exists between you and anybody sending documents to your business. So that could be official letters and correspondence from your Secretary of State. Service of process notices, very important. If you're sued, making sure you're appearing in court. Official federal government correspondence information and notifications, tax forms, requests for payments, requests to complete permits, company filings, or reports. So they're making sure that your business is compliant. So it's really important, 2 things. 1, that you have a professional registered agent, and 2, that they are in your state. You can't have a registered agent outside of your state. It has to be within your state. And that is true for all 50 states when you're setting up an LLC. Going back to the state website, that's why I don't really love these, because they just kind of blast through a lot of this information. I think a lot of people make mistakes as they're getting their LLC set up. Right now would be a good time to let you know too that a lot of the resources that I'm mentioning are going to be in a link in the description below. If any of them are paid links, I will make note of that, but most of them are free resources, so you know what to do when you're setting up your LLC for yourself. Now, if you're to go use a service like InkFile, right? If you start at the top here, you'll see that there are 500,000 businesses launched. And one of the reasons I recommend InkFile is they're going to walk you through the process better than the state website will. They'll allow you to do it all online. And this is kind of cool. You can do it for as little as $0 plus your state fee. Now you might be wondering, like, how do they do that? I'm gonna explain where there are any hidden fees or anything like that. But if you click Launch My Business, I'm gonna start over here. So I've selected LLC. 80% of all new entities set up are LLCs and Kentucky. Now, when we go down here in the silver package, that is where you're gonna see it's $0 for your package fee, and then it's $40 for the state fee. This is one of the lowest state fees that you'll find out there. There's no way around this fee. If you go through the state website, you do it yourself, you go through this tool, you go through an attorney, you're going to pay $40 to the state to set up that LLC. But again, that's very low. I've seen 10x that in other states of what you're gonna pay. Now, what they'll do is preparing and filing as articles of organization. Unlimited name searches, that's important. You wanna make sure that you have a unique name for the type of service that you're providing. Now, as you'd imagine with Kentucky Wildcats, there's gonna be a lot of businesses named Wildcats of different variations. But if you had some very unique name, what you're gonna do is go through those name searches on here to make sure that you have one that is not taken already. And now this is really important too, free registered agent service for a year. If we go back to this article, what I want to do is, because this is where you might consider it kind of a hidden fee, is it's free for the first year, but then what you'll see is it's $119 annually after that for Inc. Files registered agent service, and this would be a registered agent within your state of Kentucky. So year 2, it's $119, year 3, it's $119. But again, as you're registering and getting set up, that person is going to be dotting your I's and crossing your T's, making sure you have a legit LLC so somebody can't sue you and take your personal car. It's really important that you have a legit registered agent on file. Now, some people may want to go up into the gold and platinum package. It really depends on your situation and what you're looking for. Perhaps you need an expedited filing, but I think for people that are looking at the gold package, the EIN business tax number is really helpful. So when I set up my LLC, I did the EIN business tax number myself, and I'll admit it was a pain in the butt. And I should mention, I'm not a CPA or an attorney. I'm just somebody who's done a lot of research in this space and gone through the headaches of doing things themselves. And I'm trying to give you as much information as I can give you so you can make the decision that serves you best. Now, if you wanted to do this yourself, what you'd do is you'd go to this link on the IRS website, and this is going to walk you through all the questions you may have around an EIN, and then you can apply for an EIN. It is a pain in the butt, but if you want IncFile to take care of that for you, they will do that for you. Another thing I wanted to highlight on here is the business banking account. This is really important. Again, all these links are in the description below. If you need that one for the IRS website, right in the description below is that link. The business banking account, currently they do that through Bank of America. And this is really important because if you recall at the beginning of the video, I talked about commingling funds. Now, what that means is some people will set up a business account and they'll never get a business banking account. So they start running expenses and incomes through that personal bank account, and then it's called commingling funds. And again, this is a crack in your LLC. So if you're sued, that attorney might be able to pierce the corporate veil because they say, this person's commingling funds, this isn't even a legit business. We're gonna go after your personal house because of whatever happened in the past. So that is why it's so important to have that separate bank account. And also, when it comes to accounting and tax time, it's a lot easier if you have a business bank account, because then you can just export all of your expenses and incomes into another software or to your CPA. It just makes it way easier when it comes to tax time. So I wanted you to be aware of those two things. Now, lastly, I want to talk about why you might hire an attorney. If you get an attorney, the downside is it may cost you $800 to $3,000 to get set up with an LLC. The upside is if you have a specific issue or something that is unique about your business. One of those things may be that you have a business that is higher liability. Now, if you had, I don't know, like a bakery or versus, a roofing company. A roofing company is going to have more liability than a bakery, as you'd imagine. People can fall off a roof. So you may want to consult with an attorney if you think you have a high liability business, or if you're already making money and you're doing sales in and out of state. That may be something you want to consider as well. One service I like is a service called Avo, and as you can see, I already have Kentucky limited liability lawyers up here, and there's 12 results. And again, this link will be in the description below for you. I'm not affiliated with this service in any way. I just like it. But if you click free consultation down here, what it's going to do is it's going to reduce your list to 5 results. So now what you're seeing are attorneys in Kentucky that can consult with you on LLCs, and the first 15 minutes are free. So that's just a nice added little feature, and that's why I like this service. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is taxes. Now, in the video on the screen over here, the IncFile review, at about the 2:30 mark, I cover an S-Corp Tax Calculator. This is something that you should be aware of even if you're not making money today, because down the line, you may want to transition from an LLC to an S-Corp, and it's just good information to know today. So again, guys, thank you for using my links in the resources below, and I'm going to catch you in that next video.